Good evening and welcome to Go, my favorite sports team, or should I say your favorite sports team?
We're their favorite sports team?
No.
Oh.
Not at all. We're not even a sports team.
We could be.
We're a team about sports, but this podcast is not a sport.
We could be a sports team if we really make the
for Conkers.
Yeah, Nut Smashers.
I was joking about
CNS.
that. I didn't want to be part of that.
What?
I didn't want to be part of that.
I thought you were excited.
Yeah, I pretended. I lied. That's what people do on a podcast. They get on the microphone and they lie for an hour or sometimes many hours. And it doesn't matter because they're all lies and everyone, it's all up the entertainment. Start that damn episode. Hit the record button.
I already did. We've been recording. You just did the intro.
See, I'm lying. See, I lie. That's what
lied.
It is.
Big lies. Big lies.
How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, I got my boosters. I got my 7G.
You got 7G?
I got 7G, man.
You're 2 generations ahead. I only got 5.
Well, that's because I've got the immunosuppression. So there's this new one that came out.
Oh, right.
If you guys don't know, you only have to get it twice a year now. The new form of the COVID vaccine.
Oh.
You only have to get twice a year.
I could have sworn the other one was you had to get it twice.
For normal people.
Oh,
I had to get it every 3 months.
I see.
So now I only have to get it twice a year.
That's good.
But I also got my flu shot, so I recovered from all of those effects as my active immune system workout kicked in.
Okay.
And I'm feeling great.
That's
back
good.
to 100%. My arm's like slightly sore still, where they stuck both of them, but doing pretty good. Getting ready for the Halloween times.
My render farm doesn't work.
I actually have somebody that could help you with that. Who used to do and build VFX render farms for big companies.
What?
I literally slipped my mind the last time I thought about this and talked to you about it.
What do you mean? Who?
It's my friend, Mr. Greggles.
That's not real.
No, it's real. He's a streamer.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He's a streamer who has this insane, I think, like 60-something camera setup for his stream, but he's built VFX render farms.
No. Tyler he's like up at night. Oh, I wish someone would help Mark with his render farm, tossing and turning. He hears a voice under his bed. I can help him. I can do it.
I hate clowns. It can't be true.
What's your name? Mr. Greggles. I'm not a clown.
No, but seriously, if you haven't checked out his stream, it's actually legit. He's a drummer, and he has this insane bullet shot something camera. I don't know if he's streaming right now, but he's an insanely talented drummer, fantastic tech whiz. He works with a company that created like a broadcast software called Atom. What are you watching? Turn off your porn.
Do you think this is porn? It could be. Wow.
They're really bouncing.
Yeah. Oh, turn off. Stop. Please, this is embarrassing.
But yeah, he used to literally build VFX render farms.
That's cool. Yeah, I've got one more solution I want to try. I think my NAS itself is causing some privilege issues because the consistent problem is that it can't find the file located on the server. No matter how much I open it up, no matter how much I release the security protocols, I even did an ISCSI block-based LUN straight to the computer. That's where the NAS takes a portion of its hard drive and it says, here, this computer, it's yours forever. And the computer goes like, I'm going to treat that like it's an internal drive. And then it maps it not as a network drive, but an actual internal drive. I did that and one got it, but the other couldn't, even though it was shared to the other one and it could access, I could transfer files. It just doesn't find it. I think it's the NAS. So I'm going to try something else.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, worst case scenario, I can connect you with him and he can talk to you and help.
That would be good because
he also could come out and help you build the whole system if you wanted that
it's built. Like the thing is built. It's just I haven't assembled it and plugged it all in because I've been doing it incrementally because I have this new power system, but I haven't tried it all out. I've got 8 big 14L -30P plugs.
Okay.
They're 30 amp 240 volt plugs, and so it's like a 4-prong special plug. I got distribution units, power distribution that had 3 plugs because I didn't pay attention to the plug, and it was like one's a 6L 30P and one's a 14L 30. Anyway, the plugs are stupid, but you can get into it doesn't matter.
Get an adapter, yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't plugged it all in because I don't want to run up my power bill, number one, right off the bat.
With it not necessarily working.
Exactly.
Right now.
So I'm starting with 2, and that way I can just keep testing those. And once I have 2, I know I can scale it up to however many I have.
Well, worst case scenario, if you can talk to them. if you want to, because I'm already working on another project.
Hey, Mr. Greggles, you know Houdini? I know one Houdini. I don't think I trust him.
You know, if you want, you know, there's a Greggles puppet in the closet.
Is there? Is there really? Are you sure that's a puppet?
But no, I'm working with him on another bigger project for a really cool concept and actually a pilot for a Twitch show.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, so that's how he reminded me of his experience building VFX render farms literally the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna see Mark. I should tell him he can help."
That sounds good.
Because he loved doing that and would be happy to. So
that's good. That's good.
But anyway, audience, if you want to see a really cool drumming stream and insane setup, you can go check out Mr. Greggles on Twitch.
Yeah, why are you watching this? Go watch that.
No, watch this and then watch that. Sounds like you're having some frustrations and I'm doing a lot better. So, what
the fuck, man?
I don't know.
Why you be so mean to me?
I do. I'm trying to help. I want your render farm to work.
What did I do? Yeah, then I had someone that I was texting before, and they said like, "Hey, well, yeah, I can help you set up, but why aren't you using Deadline?" And I'm like, I didn't even bother looking up what it was because I don't know what it is. What do you mean? Why am I not using Deadline? What is that? And I looked it up. It's some like AWS Amazon Web Service like thing that helps you manage render farms. And it's like, yeah, I can integrate into Houdini. But I looked at the tutorial video for that. It's 38 minutes long compared to the 28-minute Houdini built-in system tutorial video. I'm like, I don't want to learn another one. It all does the same stuff. It's just one can work. I'm not a big company. I'm just a dude with a bunch of computers. So it's like, I don't want to have to learn another system that may not work and troubleshoot that bullshit. So it's like, anyway.
No, you have to learn this third system.
Oh my God. I should have so long ago. I said this would have been easier if I just got a bunch of like those Mac Studios, plug them all in together because you can Thunderbolt into each other, and it wouldn't be as powerful, but it would do the damn thing. It would have been up and running by now. And then I could have been like, oh, I need more power. Add another.
Are you saying that means Iron Lung could have been done already?
Shut up.
Listen, there are so many people that really want this to happen. I want
it too. It's not like I don't. Look, it's
hey, listen, I support you in your endeavors and to build a render farm the way that you want in the power capacity that you want so it works for the long term in the future on your other projects.
That would be ideal.
So I support your decision.
My damn solar panels got dirty again. I went up there yesterday.
Did you power wash them?
I threw out the power washer.
What?
It was clogged with blood. Long story.
That's
a story for another day. Let's not get into it. I had to throw it out.
This just speaks volumes to your usage of power wash. Just get a new one.
I want to, but it's also like where the new solar panels are, there's not enough space up there for me to get up and stand up there. So it's like whatever I have to do. So I've got a 30-foot scrub pole coming.
Yeah.
It's telescoping, so it starts at like 7 feet and it can go up to 30 feet. So I should be able to get all of those. And with a hose, or like I think I want to set up a sprinkler just so we can do it while I'm scrubbing, so it can constantly kind of blast some of the debris off.
And then you can have your shirt off and wear your bathing suit and it'll be like a little kid again playing in the sprinkler while you're washing your solar panels.
I didn't know where you were going with that sentence. So I was
playing in the sprinkler as a kid.
I don't know. You said take your shirt off, and I had jokes lining up for that, and then it was like, what are you talking about? Look, I couldn't afford a sprinkler as a child. You think we could afford water?
Didn't you go to the next door neighbors and play in their sprinkler?
No, they wouldn't let us. They built a fence, and I'd never seen a fence before because I couldn't imagine money being spent on something like that. I went in the woods. I drank from the creek. I slurped down tadpoles for sustenance. That's what I did, and I was happy. I was happy doing that.
Is that why your voice is so deep? All the croaking that happened? Horrible joke.
Yeah, don't cut that out. Leave that out.
No,
make it louder. Like really put an echo. So
please save me. This is going to be a news episode, so this will be updating all of our wonderful listeners and viewers on the things that are happening in sports.
Caitlin Clark. We didn't have a Caitlin Clark segment in the last episode. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
But now I'm sure we have story after story built up.
Well, I mean,
Is there actually more Caitlin Clark? How is there more Caitlin Clark news every week?
This is a stat thing. It's because Caitlin Clark is just an incredible athlete who is breaking records no matter where she goes or what she does. But apparently, she has the second most games in WNBA history with 25 or more points, along with 10 or more assists at the same time. The second most in the history of the NBA. Not in one season, the entire history of the WNBA.
In her first year?
In her first year, she is the second most games in WNBA history with 25 or more points and 10 plus assists.
That's impressive. That's impressive. You can't beat that.
Second all time.
Okay, one person can beat that, but not for long.
That's their career stats of doing this, not one season. But there has been discussion as to why I watched Angel Reese on Shaq's podcast, and he was talking about why people love Caitlin Clark so much is because she's doing something they've never seen before. She's shooting from half court, making threes on the women's side of basketball.
Yeah.
Steph Curry's doing that over in the NBA. That's why everybody started falling in love with Steph Curry. It's anywhere, he could shoot from anywhere and make it, essentially. Mm-hmm. And so Caitlin Clark is doing the same thing in women's basketball, and they were talking about that with Angel Reese. He was talking about what you need to do in order to get that kind of level of notoriety is start dunking, because that's something we haven't seen before. The thing that made this interview most interesting to me, she argued, she kind of like subtly said, nobody's going to want to see that. They don't want to see a pretty girl dunk. And she made it about her looks and what she wants to do with fashion and stuff like that, as opposed to as a basketball player. And she was arguing with one of the greatest, if not the greatest center of all time about what people want to watch when it comes to basketball. And that made it really interesting to me, is like,
that's
shouldn't.
Fascinating. I'm trying to see,
because that's like the opposite of what most female athletes want, is they want to be known for their sports and their ability. And she's talking about wanting to do stuff outside of basketball.
Yeah.
And she was also complaining about the WNBA not paying enough, but the WNBA doesn't draw enough viewership and ad revenue for them to get paid more.
Right.
They're literally subsidized by the NBA. That's the only reason the league exists.
Yeah. But it's fascinating that statement would be made, because it's like, I get the personal preference of that. That's fine. But I think it's coming from a misunderstanding of what people want to see, because everyone would wants to see someone dunk. It doesn't matter, men or women. It's awesome. Break the backboard. That's awesome. I'm not a huge fan of basketball in the first place, but I love watching a game, and if someone does a sweet dunk, it's awesome. Everyone goes, yeah, and you go like, wow, did you see that? Everyone saw it, but did you see it?
I found the video.
Okay.
So this is the interesting conversation. It starts off talking about pay.
Okay.
And we already talked about that. The WNBA players don't make that much because the WNBA does not operate at a profit, period. They operate at a loss supplemented by the NBA.
Okay.
Like, bro, if your salary don't pay your rent.
The problem is the WNBA not paying enough.
Well, there's a whole dynamic because of you.
Yeah, it's because of who I am.
Why do you think people love Caitlin Clark besides her skills?
She can shoot threes from logo.
Whoever edited the flashing is horrible.
Steph Curry, a little kid. Like, Steph Curry, I love, you know why I love Steph Curry? Because I've never seen that before. I've seen it a little bit. If you saw Steph on the street, he ain't got the LeBron muscles. He's not 6'9", he's 6'10". He look like a perfect, normally office guy.
Yeah.
He's doing stuff that people never seen before. She's doing stuff we've never seen before.
Yeah,
never
that's
seen
why
nobody
people
do
love
that on
Caitlin
a
Clark.
consistent basis. The only thing is missing is the dunk.
I don't feel like it still would change.
I'm telling you.
I don't think
what?
so.
Bro, you dunking and getting, man, trust me, it'll change. Trust me, it'll change. I'm telling you right.
So.
Bro, first of all, I like how y'all are starting to get into fashion. Bro, a pretty girl dunking on the rim, I'm watching that all the time.
Oh, so he said that first.
He said a pretty girl dunking.
My man is not turned on by no woman that's dunking.
It ain't about being turned on. It's about seeing stuff that you're not supposed to see.
Oh, my God. What you mean not supposed to see? There's women that can dunk, though.
I'm telling you, dunking with the Shaq emblem with your knees up, man, you tripping. You tripping, bro. What? Brittany Griner just busting through the lane, busting.
Brittany Griner already dunked.
I know, but.
So you just want more women? More women.
Yes.
Dunking.
Yes, I'm just telling you now. So a lot of people gonna comment, they're gonna hate this, but I know exactly what I'm talking about.
So why don't they watch other sports though? Not just.
What you mean?
Like all sports, people don't watch women's sports regardless.
That's not true. I watch track and field.
We don't even have the people don't, enough people don't even watch the game.
Because I don't want to use the B word unless it's certain people playing. It's like you're watching like a high school game. Solution for that, and nobody's gonna like my solution.
So the part that stood out to me is that she kind of laughed off Shaq's suggestion about dunking, as opposed to, you know, like she made it about being turned on, and I was like, that's not the goal. The goal is to show the athletic prowess and show people what they haven't seen before, and that's something you don't see every day, is a female athlete dunking the basketball.
Yeah,
and the power dynamic with relation to a dunk, like that's a massive oomph. Yeah. Like when Shaq dunked the ball, it's like, that's impressive.
Yeah, you don't know if that rim's going down.
Or it's also just the fact that you just overpowered somebody or got that close to the rim that you could just throw it down with authority.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing, is it's like, we're talking about why Caitlin Clark is the biggest name in WNBA.
Excitement factor.
Yes.
There's an excitement factor to hitting a half-court shot. And doing it again and again and again is nuts.
Having an insane, powerful dunk over somebody.
But here's the problem with the lowering the rim thing, especially. Everyone in the WNBA is trained to hit the rim where it's at. And if they lower it, everyone is thrown off. People might adjust, but everyone would be thrown off.
My thing isn't about lowering the rim. There are plenty of women that have the height that they should be able to dunk.
Yeah.
There were people in the NBA that are like under 6 foot that have been able to dunk. Spud Webb was historically one of the ones that could do it. There is no reason that these women can't get the hops to be able to jump.
For sure.
It's just about training and working on that and making that happen.
Yeah.
And so to me, the part about this that kind of irritated me the most is that Angel Reese took it in a way that was, yes, against Shaq, but this is before he even said anything about lowering the rim. This is him just simply saying, this would make you get more views on the game as well. If you dunked the ball, it'd be equivalent to Caitlin Clark shooting logo threes.
I think that it might be a little bit of an oversimplification to say, like, if you dunk, you will, like, the WNBA will be successful and you'll be profitable.
Right, but it's saying it would bring more of an excitement factor, it would bring more to your name and notoriety. If you are dunking every day, there will be more highlights of that. As opposed to the current state, and not to knock on Angel Reese, but it's the truth, of bricking the ball and then getting your own rebound 5 times in a row before you finally make it, and shooting 36% from right underneath the basketball.
Yeah, sure.
I watched the WNBA finals, and I hate to say it, but it did look very ugly. It was not clean basketball. Like, you watch the NBA, there are ugly plays, but it's not to the atrocious factor of, there was a 2-minute span of a horrible pass, missed shots, a turnover. Like, it looked like a high school basketball game. And that's not to say these athletes aren't incredible. They are. It's just, I don't know if it's because they're not focused as much on the actual athleticism sport itself because they're not making as much, or what it is. But that's why when I watch a game that Caitlin Clark plays, yeah, she may turn it over a bunch with an occasional bad pass, but she also puts in a lot more effort and is getting doubled, triple teamed. Sometimes 4 players swing up to try and guard her before she passes the ball. But then she makes incredible passes and still makes incredible shots.
Yeah.
So that's the distinction that I think is being played, the excitement factor that she brings to the game and the intensity she brought to the game.
So I think what it is it's a very incremental crawl that is starting.
Yes.
But it's not there yet, because more money from more excitement means better training facilities, even though they probably use some of the ones that the NBA uses.
Right.
They probably share some resources at least, but definitely
they play in the same venues.
Dedicated coaching, dedicated trainers, dedicated staff to help them. That all costs money, and
making it year round.
Exactly, making it year round so they can sustain that, and that is where the difference lies in that training, and that comes with these small steps. So Caitlin Clark is a good example because the beginning of this trajectory of excitement is bringing attention, and that's where the value lies of getting more money in from more eyes on it, and then you can afford these different things, and then it gets better. It's much like anything in entertainment. The success of it, the long-term success of it, and the quality of it depends on the number of people that are engaged in it and that care about it. So he's not wrong that dunking would help, but it's also an incredible reductionist statement to say that fix your problems, dunk, when in reality it's even if someone started dunking, which people probably have in games, they've dunked, but it's like all of this still needs to build on the next step.
Yeah, it's less frequent. But the thing is, I think dunking is a capability that starts younger. I mean, it happens in high school on the guys' side. I think it can happen in high school on the women's side. Mm-hmm. There's no reason that it's not in there. It's just I feel like the focus is different in the way that the women's game is played. And that in and of itself is kind of a problem, because if you want to get to that level and capability, I think you have to evolve the game to the point to where it's what people want to watch.
Absolutely. You do. You don't have many coaches in high school that were former WNBA players. You have some.
Yeah.
But the proportion of high school coaches on the men's side that are college level athletes incrementally gets more as the sport has progressed. And there's plenty of them now that has at least played a little bit of basketball in college that are high school coaches. And that kind of passing the torch of knowledge is very slow. That's generational.
Well, and we're talking about, too, the fact that men have been able to be involved in athletics far earlier than women were, because women weren't allowed until a certain point, is also true.
And if anybody wants to check that I'm right about this, look at sports 60 years ago.
Yeah.
No, more than that now, but probably the footage of the first Olympics is a laughable thing.
I mean, 60 years ago is plenty enough to go back to when women weren't allowed to play sports.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm talking men's.
Oh, yeah.
When men's is where there might be slop in the WNBA finals. You look back at the men's, probably 80 years ago, probably would be a better example of when it first started, before you had the entire ecosystem of training and facilities and dedicated things to it, when those athletes weren't paid a lot. You have football is a less good example, because you can see it had support way early. Baseball way earlier than that. But other sports, as they grew bigger, you're seeing it with soccer right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, soccer is a great example of the facilities aren't there. There's passion, and the women's soccer team does compete at a very high level, which is cool to see, whereas the men's does not.
Yeah, and this is specifically in the U.S. Over in Europe, obviously, they make the most money. They have the facilities, all of that. But
gymnastics, women have the training, the legacy, the athleticism staff. The men's do great, but they don't have the legacy, because they don't have the viewership, because they don't have the number of people that are interested in it. They don't have the recruitment base, and so all of this starts somewhere, builds somewhere. This year's Olympics in the men's gymnastics did build up a bit more because it was fun to watch. It was exciting. It had that moment, but that moment alone doesn't make it what it will be in the future. It's like many moments built together. Yeah.
I'm looking up Peter in the Olympics again, just because.
The pommel horseman.
Is his name Peter? Did I get that wrong?
I don't know. Maybe pommel horse guy. If you look
Steven. Peter, Steven.
Oh, Peter.
Peter's a different guy. Ned Ross.
Don't try.
Don't
God. Even try.
Steven. This is a cool combination of art entering football. And this wasn't super recent, but it's pretty recent. Look at these helmets.
Oh, yeah.
So, if she talks about this, but each one of these got hand painted.
Oh.
To make to look like leather helmets.
Yeah.
2 hours each helmet.
Damn.
Hand painted, so well done. Insane. And this is Illinois. And I believe this was during the throwback weekend, where they did a lot of the throwback uniforms, and they really threw it back to the old leather helmets, which is there's a movie with George Clooney in it called Leatherheads about the early stages of football. I think that's really cool, and it's a way that art is being showcased on a national stage in a football game.
Yeah.
And what this person is capable with that airbrush, and spending 2 hours on each helmet is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also supporting the artist. It's really cool showcasing that. I just thought that was a really fascinating thing that football did.
That's very cool.
And then we have the wonderful Ashton Jeanty, who literally stands like he's Michael Myers in the backfield. He's a massive Heisman candidate, was on before last weekend was on pace to beat Barry Sanders' NCAA rushing record.
Oh, yeah.
And this is how he stands in the backfield. Straight up. Chill as a cucumber. You know, when they tell you to get in your athletic stance, you get down, you want to be able to quick agile. Mm-hmm. He just stands. Foreboding. Before he drops 200 plus yards rushing.
That would be unsettling. Oh, that's a big guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's a big man.
His yards after contact beats the second highest rusher in the NCAA right now.
Yeah.
So he himself is number 1 and number 2 in rushing.
Yeah.
Incredible athlete at Boise State. Now, you would think somebody who's that great would go to a bigger school. This man chose to stay at Boise State because nil happened, right? Mm-hmm. And a larger school is going to offer you more money to go to their school. And he was already the top back in the nation. He elected, as opposed to taking the money and going to a bigger team, to instead stick with the people who recruited him, stick with the people who gave him the shot, and leave a legacy. Ridiculous, by the way.
This looks so tiny by comparison.
I know.
I know it's a perspective thing, but it just makes his arm look like he doesn't have an upper arm. Is it just this part stuck up in the shoulder? It is great.
So tremendous athlete. He's leading the candidacy for Heisman. He just ran for 126 yards and a touchdown against UNLV yesterday.
He ran over 100 yards for a touchdown.
He had 33 carries for 126 yards and a touchdown.
Okay, I see.
So, which was less than his standard. Normally he was rushing for 200 plus yards a game on less than 30 carries. He was averaging, for the longest time, he was averaging over 15 yards per carry. Mm-hmm. And majority of that was after contact, which is also insane, the breaking tackles and stuff. But he went on to explain his stance. And apparently a number of coaches tried to change his stance.
Yeah.
They tried to tell him, you need to get down in ready position. You need to do all this. But he stuck by the fact that one of his coaches told him, this should be something you should be able to stand in for, I think he said 5 minutes, about being relaxed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, stay in the stance for 5 minutes. You should be able to stay and be relaxed and chill. And to him, it was like, he's more relaxed. Plus, on top of that, standing straight up, he can see over the offensive line better to read the defense before the ball is snapped.
I didn't even think of that.
So as the play is coming, he knows kind of what the defense is doing and can read and figure out where he wants to run the ball.
And also, it's a good excuse for him being the Terminator and his head going boing doesn't look as scary when he's like, I'm just looking over your heads. Target identified.
His machine scanning, it's a lot easier from that perspective.
It's also harder to predict where he's going to go.
Yeah, he's not going to show a lean at all because he's very relaxed standing upright. Yeah. There's no ready position, you flexing one leg. It's like in, what is that Eagles movie with Mark Wahlberg, Invincible, where the guy talks about his stance to him about his knuckles being white is he's leaning forward or if he's leaning back, if there's blood in his knuckles, so he can read what that person's going to do on the play, whether he's going to rush hard straight at you or if he's planning to do a, why is my brain breaking? It's a maneuver. It's a twist or a slant or
Wow, we got to the point where Tyler doesn't know a football
No,
play.
It's driving me nuts.
Here. Well, that's the
it's
end of the
part
podcast.
Of a scheme.
I see his
a
diploma
twist, a loop, a hole.
burning to ash right before our eyes. It's fading. It's gone. He wasn't even close to saving that. Well, at least he's still got the holes. Oh no, his holes. They're going. Gone. No holes.
A stunt. Oh my God. A D-line stunt.
D-line stunt.
Jesus Christ. Being able to read what that guy's going to do before it happens. He is so relaxed that he doesn't showcase anything so nobody can anticipate his next move.
I think that he was just all childhood. He played a bugged version of and the football game, NCAA, whatever. And just all the characters on the field were standing like that. He's like, I want to be that when I grow up.
And they even ran like that. They'd go and they'd just be like.
Yeah. So he wasn't able to get it out of his head because of his bugged game that he had. Yeah. So I think that's more likely. Admit it. Confess. Madden was bugged.
Yes. When you come on this podcast, you must confess.
I meant just in general, but
but I'd love to talk to him. He seems like
we'll punch you.
What?
We're gonna punch you.
No,
we're gonna punch you so hard.
No, that's a big man.
That's why we're both doing it. That's why I say we.
We would not punch anyone.
Oh, we'd punch someone
if they deserved it,
which you do. Why we oughta?
By the way, Dodgers and Yankees are the ones playing in the World Series. Playing. They played one game. It's a 7-game
this
series.
comes out.
You're right. They played in the World Series. You're right. Oh no, Mark's being more sportly than me. But before that, before the Yankees made it to the World Series, they were playing their in-state rival, the Mets. And lo and behold, some celebrities came out for that game. In particular, one was Scarlett Johansson.
Wow.
And so Scarlett Johansson, being the incredibly intelligent woman that she is, did not have Mets memorabilia. But she did have a hat that said the Mets.
I think we can all appreciate that. That is, I don't think that was done on accident. I think that
was done
intentional.
Very intentionally.
And I think it's hilarious.
Yes. So incredible props to Scarlett Johansson for this look. For wearing the Met hat.
Scarlett. Can I call you Scar? Look. Whatever. We're going to punch you.
Mark!
I'm on the
You're
podcast.
scaring everyone away.
Oh, you should be afraid.
Now I know why nobody wants to be on our podcast. You've been telling them, we're going to punch you.
I literally have. Come on. Caitlin Clark, you better watch out. Shaq, we're coming for you. I'll stand on his shoulders. I'm going to punch you. He punches low, I'll punch high.
No!
How many lawsuits can I rack up?
I mean, if you wanna do that world record, you can go for it. All right. In new news.
I love the picture. I love the headline. I didn't even see the headline at first. Yeah, that.
So, you remember the show Coneheads?
Yes.
Apparently, there's some truth to that becoming a possibility. Because, apparently, and while it's unlikely to happen to this particular breakdancer, have been urged to avoid head spinning after a dancer who developed a cone-shaped lump on his head due to years of extensive head spinning practice and had to have it surgically removed. It was a benign tumor dubbed a breakdance bulge. Now, when I first saw this article, when it was linked to me and it was called Breakdancer Has a Bulge, which is literally what it says in my news articles, it says breakdancing bulge. This was not what I thought it was. I thought it was another incidence of the pole vaulting guy. But no, there's actually
the guy spun on his dick.
A lump.
Oh, God. Oh.
That's pre-surgery.
Ew!
I can't zoom in, but that's pre-surgery and this is after surgery. It's still kind of there.
It's definitely still there.
But like significant.
That is horrifying.
Yeah.
What? I mean, it makes total sense. You're breakdancing, you put all your weight on your head and you're spinning. That's not going to be good. I mean, you get calluses on your hand from weightlifting or just working in general with your hands. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
The body is adaptable in almost every way, and sometimes that's no good.
Well, and if you have an extensive bruising or stuff like that, if you've ever seen, after my knee surgery, I used to get fluid stuck in there's a sac that's outside of your actual knee joint that encapsulates your kneecap. And what can happen with swelling and stuff is fluid goes into that kneecap region and gets trapped there. And so you have this fluid bulge in your knee. And I'm imagining that's how this initially started, was over time, enough punches, stuff like that, like cauliflower ear, fluid got stuck in there. And then eventually a benign tumor began to form as a form of callus or use of that space by your cells and your tissues. Yeah, that's apparently a thing that can happen. Also, Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback, famous for getting concussions, is returning to football.
Yeah!
After again getting a concussion and many people telling him to retire after significant concussion, his third one in 4 years. He was put on injured reserve. He comes back and he decides to keep playing. Lots of memes around this, showcasing what he'd look like in a few years. Kind of mean, but unfortunately, the situation with most football players that can happen with the way that things are going. But he is getting a custom 3D printed technology helmet made that is designed to be significantly safer. It's sponsored and kind of funded by 2 NFL players in Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. And it's new and one of the highest safety rated helmets an NFL has ever seen. And he's getting a custom 3D printed to his head to fit perfectly.
Why don't they give that to everybody?
The athletes has to choose.
What do you mean they have to choose?
So
they have a contract. They do what the NFL says.
Right, but the NFL doesn't force you to have to wear a particular helmet, doesn't force you to have to do anything.
Why not?
Because they also added these Guardian caps. They force them to wear it in practice. And there's some people claim that it's a scam, but it supposedly reduces concussion. In fact, there are players for the first time this year that are wearing it as a part of concussion prevention.
Oh, it's a big... They don't want to wear it because it looks stupid.
Well, that's the Guardian cap. The 3D printed helmet Patrick Mahomes has been wearing. So
it does look really funny. The Guardian cap.
The Guardian cap.
I'm not gonna lie, that looks very funny. But I understand it. I don't want to make fun of it. If it's for less brain injury, go for it. Yes, please, all of it. And I know there's some people out there that are like, rugby does without helmets because the hitting harder thing. But it's also like we're already in the NFL, and they're not going to stop hitting harder. They're only going to get hitting even harder and even harder. So it's like this is the road we're on. I'm not saying everyone should wear this specifically, but
that's it right there.
That looks great. That looks awesome.
Yeah, it's this company called Vicus, but a number of players have elected to do this and get this helmet.
The inside pads are changed out to
the outside is also 3D printed.
Okay.
So the whole thing is custom designed for your head. They also did studies to relate it to the position you play based on how you take impacts to have it formed in the way to protect you the most. Aaron Rodgers wears this. Patrick Mahomes wore this last year. And apparently Tua is now going to be wearing this helmet in order to protect himself in the future.
Yeah,
now,
awesome.
Very important and very cool technology.
Mm-hmm.
There's another interesting fact that I will always state about this, and it's also why Ryan Shazier broke his back, is they don't teach proper form. People are leading with the top of their helmet, and when you compress the spine like that, you are going to break your neck. You are going to break your back. And I still see it to this day and age that players are lowering their heads, which is how Tua got hurt in this last time, when they're making football moves. Look where you're going. Keep your eyes on the target. That will help prevent the majority of it. Your head is a lot stronger here than here. And that's the same thing with your neck and your spine and absorbing impact. And this is important for all young athletes out there. If you want to play football, one, I wouldn't want my kid to play football in today's day and age. The brain damage, the stuff relating to it. I know how my body feels after football, but I also loved football. And going back in time, I don't think I'd go back and stop playing knowing what I know now. I would just possibly not try to play it as a career in the college level. But make sure you are looking at your target. You keep your head up. You don't lower your helmet. That is the number one way to prevent neck and head injuries in football, is proper form and technique. Yeah, you may want to deliver a hit. Deliver it with your shoulder. Don't deliver it with your head.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that drove me nuts about that incident, which is why I was like, I think Tua kind of did this to himself because he lowered his head.
I mean, I wouldn't be terribly surprised. And it's also a factor of like, you get a concussion, you are more susceptible to concussions.
Yes.
It's compounding.
Yes, which is why I am more susceptible, because I have now had 1 diagnosed, but for sure 3 that have happened. This is a really wholesome moment that I want to share with you. And this is a player's daughter watching his father score the game-winning overtime goal. Watching her father. Their father. I don't know how they identify.
All fathers.
All fathers.
Here he goes. Here he goes.
He scores the game-winning goal. He's the one that's excited.
Oh, really?
Not the other one that they were showing the majority of the video, but I just thought that was really cool and adorable capturing that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Another interesting, more hockey for all those hockey fans that think I hate hockey. Here's more hockey for you. Whoop! He just slides in there and scores the goal.
No offsides rule here.
There's no offsides. The puck's there. He's like, whoop. Doesn't even touch the goal. He just slides through. It's the most casual thing.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
It's so funny to me. And then we've got an incredibly skilled hockey player in college.
Look at this guy trying to suck up to all the hockey fans out there. It's too little, too late.
No, it's never too little.
Because he doesn't like it because there's no balls and there's no holes.
There's holes in the net. But this is so cool. I mean,
wow, that's embarrassing. Oh no. I mean, look, I wouldn't have even I wouldn't have been embarrassed like that because he would have blown by me in 2 seconds at the beginning. But hey, that's less embarrassing than what just happened there. I feel so bad.
But it's Minnesota against Michigan, which makes it even better because screw Michigan.
Oh man. It's the falling over. Like I can get his stick handling is
so
better.
He fell over on purpose. He tried to help the goalie by blocking half of the goal with his body. In hockey, a lot of players will dive in front of the puck.
He just dove the wrong way.
He just dove the wrong way. And then the goalie couldn't make the save, but he did cover half the goal. He forced him to have to go one direction, which helps the goalie.
That is true. It just looks to me, to the untrained eye, like his ankles were broken and he fell over.
All right. And then we have one news post from the Reddit again.
Okay.
This is from H. This is from Red Truck. And he's got sporting news.
What?
The guy who was finger the ball sack.
Right. Tyler, you're gonna have to engage your inner Red Truck for this one. What is that about?
He's trying to tell me I need to be an angry Red Truck.
So it's literal. It's just very all right. Okay.
Yes.
As of this week, most of the regional sports networks have rebranded from Bally's Sports to FanDuel Sports Network. I believe this also includes the RSN that covers Cincinnati. Tyler, uncork your rage at the regional sports networks and condemn them for clinging to sports betting in order to survive.
Yeah. So you remember Fox Sports Network, FSN Ohio?
No.
That's the one that usually covers the Reds for the local regional sports. Essentially, all of these regional sports networks got paid by FanDuel to rebrand and be named FanDuel Sports Network. They bought it, and they now hold the right to the names of 16 regional sports networks. This is what we become into the problem of sports gambling taking a grasp on sports.
This is why there are laws that apply to this, and there need to be new updated regulations to this stuff so this doesn't happen. What in the idiocracy?
Yeah.
What in the fuck? That's outrageous. I know that stadiums are named after companies all the time, but it's usually not something that is literally damaging to the thing that it is trying to promote.
And also, at the same time, you know how hard it is for anybody who is a recovering gambling addict to ever be able to turn on their TV now?
Mm-hmm.
Because now that is in their guide as they're scrolling through to find a channel. It's absolutely outrageous that this is being allowed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And since these local networks usually have the exclusive rights to these local games, streaming services like ESPN Plus can't stream games to residents in the sports area. So you are forced, if you want to watch the game, to use these channels.
Hope the money was worth it.
And it's not just a city. It's an entire region spanning multiple states. For many people, FanDuel Network is now the only way they can legally watch the games, even if they don't want to support sports gambling.
What was Bally's Sport?
Bally's Sports owned a bunch of regional sports networks. I think it was just like a family-owned company, but they maintained the broadcasting rights to local regional network areas.
Oh, I see. There's a sponsored post. When you look up Bally's Sports, you look at this top sponsored post, FanDuel Sports Network.
Diamond Sports Group and FanDuel announced broad commercial partnership.
Who?
I guess Diamond is what is now Bally's. Exclusive rights to name Diamond's 16 regional sport networks and Diamond's digital offerings, including the direct-to-consumer product, as FanDuel Sports Network. It's ridiculous. there used to be laws that prevented advertising for gambling. In fact, Vegas even has laws that they can't put up billboards and stuff until you cross into Nevada from California.
And all of the advertisements need to have disclaimers, even in Ohio, for they must disclaim if gambling problem, call da 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 da.
Yeah.
How can you do that with the name is the advertisement?
It's their way of skirting around things because legal and laws have not kept up with the incredible expanding digital space of sports gambling.
This explains how it happened. The bankruptcy of Diamond Sports Group led to this. They failed to make an $140 million interest payment, and they opted for a 30-day grace period. They missed the grace period. They filed for bankruptcy. In the disruption of that, they missed payments to all these different sports, leagues or sports companies like city sport teams. And then they missed the second payment to the Padres, and then they started missing payments across the board. And then, one thing led to another, and whoa, here's a lot of money coming in after they did a settlement with another broadcasting group for another $500 million. And then boom, bang, boom. Bada, 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 bada.
Seems like mismanagement of money overall from the network itself, and then just horrible.
They had it is technically a sponsorship agreement with the option to take a minority equity stake up to 5%. So I don't know how much this sponsorship deal is. Sure sounds like a buyout as opposed to a sponsorship.
Yeah, it seems like this is going to be a long term thing.
Oh, well.
What can we do? Nothing. Don't support sports gambling. That's the best we can do.
Yeah, don't do that. Even if there are ads on this podcast, because once again, all the companies that run this shit, not us, can't resist the money. They just can't resist the money. They just can't resist the money. They're addicted.
Greed takes us all down eventually.
Not me, though. And not Caitlin Clark, Shaq, and whoever else we were talking about that we're going to punch. We're going to take them down with our punches.
Well, speaking of Caitlin Clark, we're going to end on a Caitlin Clark note.
Oh, I was hoping.
All right, let me see if I can find this link again. She's in an interview with somebody, I forget who, but I think these are people speaking about her, what she said.
And since it's off the record, here's all you need to know about Caitlin Clark. When we would go to away games, they always sold out. It's unbelievable. So Atlanta would normally have 3,000, 4,000 people. Now they have 17,000 people, and they sold 1,000 standing room only tickets. So when we walked into the arena, people were on that third balcony looking down at the tops of our players' heads to watch. I mean, it's really hard to take in. After a few away games and all of the sellouts, Caitlin asked the WNBA if they would pay spot bonuses to the away team players. She said, we're making all this new revenue, and I would like the away team to benefit from that. Could they get a spot bonus? So that's the heart of Caitlin Clark. I mean, that's a classy, amazing person.
Yeah, so apparently this is somebody with the Indiana fever speaking on what Caitlin Clark asked the WNBA to do because they were getting better attendance and better viewership than anybody else.
I'm so sorry. What's this guy doing?
I don't know. He's like reacting. This is the guy. This is the guy's TikTok. Wow. This is on.
Yeah, I see this all the time where someone's just in the corner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, sometimes I've reacted to a video where all I do is laugh or something, but
I think that's just a picture.
Is that just a picture?
I don't know if he ever has moved.
No, he's moved.
Oh, he's blinked.
It's a video. Wait, go to the end. Does he say anything at all?
We'll see.
The answer was no, by the way, because it's a collective bargaining agreement, and the Players Association couldn't.
But it is a little bit like the Michael Jordan effect.
They wouldn't do it, but
in other words, this has changed to some degree, changing the economics of.
His mouth moved a little bit.
No, the other side.
Me that the thing that Caitlin has done is also similar to what Tiger did in that
both
fans to the sport.
Right.
So Michael Jordan.
I mean, I'm compelled.
Became a role model for the kids.
Wet your whistle. I get it.
But she's even more than that in that she's 22. So she came right out of college and hit, very successful.
He's watching something else. His light, his face just turned a different color. There's a different colored light on his face.
Yeah, I noticed.
He's watching something else.
He's watching somebody else.
What are you doing?
That's cheating.
Cheating. There's been quite a few people like that on TikTok who have accounts where their management company will take clips of them reacting and post it on whatever's the most popular video, and they'll post it on their account, and that's how they make money.
Ridiculous.
Now watch my every TikTok I ever liked video.
Oh God, no! But go follow the podcast on TikTok and go follow it on Instagram.
Yeah, there you go. That's
GMFST
not stealing
podcast.
content. Here's a reaction for the editor just to put anything. Whoa! Can you believe that?
You gotta have your headphones off. Remember? What?
Man. Now people can make millions.
Easy peasy.
Easy money.
We're clip farming. The audiences will use us and clip farm the hell out of us.
Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate you. We appreciate you more if you go to store.gmfst.com to go and buy some merch, though. If it's still there. I don't know if it's still there.
I'll punch you if you don't.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming for you. I saw a TikTok recently of your most like viral clips.
Oh, I think I saw
of like what if I want them to kill me?
Yeah.
What if I want them to try?
The guy who made that original sound did me such a service by cutting out all the other ones in between the awesome lines, because I had some. The full clip is in that video where it's just like, because I start stumbling over. What did I say? Oh, what was the actual line? What if I didn't run? What if I'm not a coward? What if I didn't want to go away? What if I stood right here? And those are the lines in between that. Between what if I want them to kill me? What if I want them to try? You know, that's in between the other stuff there. So I'm so glad they cut all those other ones out.
No, but there were other clips too, and it's really funny because they don't keep just the key moment. And I was watching, I'm like, huh? I know what's coming, but like, why is there so much run up that you kept in? That's not the viral pill.
The one in Lawnmower Simulator comes out of left field. Like even I don't know why I was saying that, but it's just like, I don't know. So yeah, they belong out of context and they should stay out of context.
Oh, they're so great. They're so great. But I saw that TikTok and I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. Getting recommended your stuff.
Thank you.
It's not like I see you once a week ish.
No one's liking my
I liked it.
17 layer deep trailer preview. Have you seen?
I like that one. I've liked every single trailer post that you put.
I'm gonna do another one that's just Subway Surfers.
Smart.
But nothing beats the keys dangling, which really says something about you.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Go My Favorite Sports Team with your master of balls and holes, Tyler Scheid, and his co-host,
The Puncher,
Markiplier. The Punch. Do you want the puncher or the punch? All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you when we see you, I guess. Bye.
Bye.